Hello, and welcome, our dear listeners, to my podcast, Love People Technology Learning. And I'm your host, Tamara, CEO Lanes AI. Today, I am the guest on my own show. I've decided to do these open dialogues once a month where I'll share insights from my career in the learning and development industry and in tech driven learning. So get ready, it's going to be a lively and I hope interesting conversation. I'll structure these episodes by asking questions both to myself and to you, the listeners. I invite you to reflect on these questions as well. It's a great way to grow. If you are listened to my podcast before, you know I always begin by asking my guests about their career journey, how they reached the point where at in their professional life, especially in the learning and development space. So let's jump right now. Today, I'm asking myself that very question. I was born in the Soviet Union, a country that no longer exists today. I grew up in a simple Soviet family. My father is Armenian and my mom, she is Russian. And I, like many at the time, I lived in a communal apartment with my parents. We all shared one small room where we ate, slept, and entertained guests. The bathroom and kitchen were shared with our neighbors, and I spent about 20 years living like this before I began to build my career, and I'm deeply grateful for this experience. It shaped me in so many ways. So, my journey into learning actually started in 1980, in 1998, I think so, when I joined a youth organization at my school called the Young Leaders Association. This organization had roots in the United States, specifically the California Association of Students Councils, and its cover values were all about peer-to-peer learning, young people teaching young people. This was a space where we could talk about leadership, communication, teamwork, and career building free from politics or religion. At just 14, I found myself in this program, and it quickly became clear that I was not just going to be a participant in leadership seminars and trainings, I was going to lead them. By age 15, I was facilitating youth seminars and learning to train others in leadership development. This experience, which spanned from 1998 to 2007, taught me several things. First, I love working with people. Second, I'm deeply inspired by helping others grow. And third, I found really joy in watching people ask themselves the kinds of questions that helps them move forward in their lives. And finally, I loved the excitement of seeing my participants light up during my seminars and trainings, young people from all over the world ready to learn. It was during those years that I realized my passion for learning and development. It became clear to me that this wasn't just a job, it was my mission. It's what drives me, and it's how I'll continue to live my life with joy and purpose. What about you? When did you first discover your passion for what you do? Feel free to reflect on that as you listen. Okay, by the way, in 2007, I graduated from university with an MBA in economics. This gave me a solid foundation, but I knew I wanted to grow in the field of learning and talent development. So I chose to attend the International School of Business Trainers, ICBT, where I earned certification as a facilitator and instructional designer for creating learning programs. At the time, we did not call them educational product, but essentially that's what we were building: training and development programs. Immediately after I began working in the financial sector at a major international investment company where I spent about 6 years. And I started as a facilitator and instructional designer and worked my way up to chief learning officer. When I first joined the team, it was just me, my manager, and a distance learning administrator. By the time I left, my team had grown to more than 13 people, including instructional designers, facilitators, product trainers, and those responsible for maintaining our learning platforms. This journey from facilitator to chief learning officer within the company was a turning point to me. It gave me the support and confidence to eventually build my own educational technology products and become an entrepreneur in 2013. As a leader and an individual, I learned a great deal from my team and from what we taught the leaders and employees who worked with clients inside the company. I believe the role of learning and development is essential not only for developing leaders within the L&D industry, but also for keeping us, the professionals, constantly evolving. We read a lot. um, I read a lot. We take courses, attend seminars, listen to podcasts. It's part of our DNA in this field. And most importantly, we stay close to business. We are in constant communication with business leaders, understanding their needs and delivering solutions. This hands on experience is invaluable. Throughout my time leading L&D teams, I've come to understand a few key things. First, no matter how experienced you are as a leader or L&D expert, it's crucial to acknowledge that you don't have all the answers. We are not all knowing, and that's okay. In fact, it's through this humility that we grow by embracing different perspectives and engaging in critical thinking about the ideas and theories we encounter. Second, when building a team, it's important to surround yourself with people who are stronger than you in certain areas. This is something I love about Ichak Adizes theory, which I'll talk more about later. According to Adizes, leaders should build teams that complement their own weaknesses, finding people with uh, strays in areas where they themselves may not excel. I've never been afraid of being outshined by my team members. I always knew that if my team grew and thrived, we deliver great results and inspire others. And if someone supposed me in the growth, what's fine, that's fine. There are countless opportunities for them to continue to grow, whether within the company or elsewhere. Third, in 2011, I completed my ICF coaching certification, which has been instrumental in my work. Coaching has taught me that the sooner people understand their strengths and how to develop within the company or the team, the more impactful they'll be. And if they're disengaged or stuck in their roles, they won't deliver results, nor will they feel satisfied. Coaching has helped me build better relationships within the L&D team and the business, supporting leaders in achieving the results that matter. These are some of the insights I've gained as an learning and development leader. What are your thoughts? Do you see similar dynamics in your own teams or companies? As I mentioned earlier, the theory of Ichak Adizes has been incredibly important and influential for me over the years. Adizes is an expert in maximizing business process efficiency and the founder of the Adizes Institute, a consulting firm. He's written over 20 books on various aspects of business management. His key model, known as the PAEI model, identifies four managerial roles: P for producer, A for administrator, E for entrepreneur, and I for integrator. According to Adizes, these roles reflect the essential needs of any organization. One of Adizes' core ideas is that there is no such thing as the perfect manager because no one can excel equally in all four areas. Instead, to be effective, a manager needs to perform at least one role exceptionally well and a few others adequately. For example, someone might be a strong producer, P, while having smaller A and E and I roles. What does that mean? It means that the person excels in producing results, while their administrative or integrative skills are more moderate. It's crucial that a manager's traits align with the tasks they are responsible for, and for the roles where they may not be as strong, they need to build a team that complements them. For instance, if you are a leader with a strong producer P and administrator A profile but weaker in the entrepreneur E and integrator I areas, it's important to bring people into your team who can fill those gaps. Now, let me briefly explain each of the PAEI roles. A producer focused on achieving the end result. They ensure that the product or service meets the expectations of both internal and external clients. Producers are experts in their field, know every detail, and are laser focused on what needs to be done to achieve immediate results. The administrator, on the other hand, is concerned with how tasks are executed. They ensure that policies, procedures, and company philosophies are followed, providing consistency and efficiency across the organization. Administrators are highly organized and help ensure that short term results are met through adherence to structure. The entrepreneur, E, focuses on the future of the company. They are visionaries, often willing to take risks to solve business problems. Their primary role is to keep the company prepared for change and to drive the organization toward future opportunities. Entrepreneurs think big and aim to position the company for tomorrow. Finally, the integrator I is responsible for bringing people together, fostering collaboration, and creating personal and functional bridges among team members. This role is about maintaining a harmonious internal environment where team members are united in working toward the company's goals. Integrators are the glue that holds the team together and ensure everyone is aligned. I highly recommend reading more about this model, especially Adiz's book, The Ideal Executive: Why You Cannot Be One and What to Do About It, along with his other works. They provide a lot of insights into leadership and team dynamics, and I highly recommend it. Reflecting on my own leadership journey, when I evaluated myself using this model, I found that my producer P and administrator A roles are not as strong, but my integrator I and entrepreneur is high. That's why I've always built teams where other excelled in P and A with an entrepreneurial mindset, particularly for leadership roles. It's essential that leaders inspire and energize their teams. However, I've always focused on building teams that complement my own strengths, and this approach has guided me since my time as Chief Learning Officer. What about you? Have you ever reflected on what roles you naturally gravitate toward as a leader? Do you build your teams to complement your strengths? I'd love for you to think about that as we continue this conversation. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a professional coach certified by the International Coaching Federation, ICF. The principles of Milton Erickson's coaching model, also known as the Milton Erickson Star, have played a huge role in shaping my understanding of leadership and management. For those of you unfamiliar with Erickson's five principles, let me walk you through them. The first principle is I'm okay and my client is okay. The coach approaches the clients without judgment, trusting that the client is in balancing and focused on the future, which they will plan together. The second principle um, is everyone already has all the resources they need. The coach truly believes that the client has all the internal and external resources necessary to solve the problems. This belief is reinforced through questions and insights that help the client tap into their knowledge and experience. The third principle is people always make the best choices available to them in the moment. The client's intuition and experience guides the path, and the choices they make are always the best possible ones for that moment. It's the client who makes those choices, and they take full responsibility for them. The coach's role is to accompany them on this journey. The fourth principle is every action is driven by positive intentions. Erickson encourages us to trust in the client's positive intentions, which fosters a belief that they are um, inherently good. This in turn brings out even more of the good in them, something I deeply believe in. And finally, the fifth principle is change is inevitable. Change will happen whether we like it or not, and there is no point in resisting it. The key is for the individual to decide what kind of change they want and how they want to manage it, whether on their own or with the help of coach. And the Milton Erickson Star has been incredibly helpful to me in managing teams. I truly believe that with each of us, everything is okay. I've always trusted in my team's ability to tap into their internal resources and excel. This mindset made it easier for me to lead the learning and development division because I knew that my team would always give the best to ensure that our projects and business goals were achieved. These values were central to the culture I built within my team, and coaching, along with the theories and models we studied together at our corporate university, helped us grow both individually and as a team. And let me say it again, mistakes are part of the process. The goal is to learn from every mistake and improve for the future. So it's as simple as this coaching and these foundational models shaped me as a chief learning officer, and they also played a significant role in helping me build a successful EdTech business and create EdTech products that are now used globally. What about you? How do you incorporate coaching principles into your leadership or team management style? How has your approach to leadership evolved? Feel free to reflect on that as you listen. Another key lesson I've learned from my experience as Chief Learning Officer is how crucial it is to build teams based on values. As I've already mentioned, I'm a strong an integrator, and relationship within the team and communication are essential to me. These elements enable the most effective business processes, and that's why one of the most important things I've learned, something that has helped me in leading a company, is selecting people based on values. When hiring for a team, it's not just about what something can do or the results they bring, but how well they align with the cultural and value based framework of the company and team. This is particularly important when building a business for the long term, especially in small and medium sized businesses. In larger corporations, there may be more turnover or more resources, but in smaller business it's vital to establish long-term relationships. The company's success relies not only on strong competencies but also on a value-based approach. For me, honestly, openness, responsibility, hard work, and deep engagement in the business processes are core values. It's about having honest, open conversations no matter the situation, whether it's a conflict or a difficult discussions. This ability to have open dialogue is key. I've had situations, although not often, where conflicts arose within the team or with colleagues. In this instance, I always started with shared my honest feelings and thoughts about what was happening. In my opinion, some leaders see that this as a weakness, but empathy and the ability to have transparent conversations are the foundation for building deep relationships. And deep relationships are what enable negotiation and understanding at different levels of communication. This was something I learned and applied in my management style, hiring based on values like openness, fostering honest dialogue, and the ability to communicate clearly. As my psychotherapist has been telling me for the past 2 years, Tamara, it's important to speak up in family, at work, in relationships with friends. It's important to communicate. This is the first step in building relationships. And another reason why therapy emphasized the importance of communication is that third, conversations we may experience disappointment. But this is also important because once we are disappointed, we let go of false hopes and have a clearer understanding of what to do next. With that clarity, we can set a clear goal, find a concrete solution, and take action. This enables growth rather than waiting around hoping for things to change or for someone else to make a move. And that I found is, in fact, communication is key to moving forward and evolving both as individuals and as teams. What do you think? How do you approach communication and values in your team? Do you find that these kinds of open conversations have helped you grow in your leadership role? To wrap up my experience as a chief learning officer in a corporate university, I can confidently say that my goal was always to build a team that could function effectively even after I left. It's like that saving: when I'm gone, I'll be remembered by the voices of my children and their children. In a similar way, when I left, I knew my team would succeed and thrive without me. That's an important lesson. When a team can work independently, it's a sign of true leadership. Many of my former team members and I have stayed close for over 12 or 13 years now, even though we live all over the world in the United States, Thailand, Spain, and beyond. We still have deep, meaningful conversation, often staying in touch through WhatsApp, and I continue to learn from those I worked alongside before transitioning to entrepreneurship. This, I believe, is the greatest gift I've given myself, and it's one of the most valuable takeaways from leading an L&D team. If I were to offer some advice on growing and developing in the learning and development field, particularly given how much the world has changed, I'd start by saying that leadership and learning have evolved tremendously. We are in an era where remote work is the norm, and the way we manage teams has shifted. Back when I led the learning and development team, only 30% of employees worked remotely. Now it's almost the opposite. One key piece of advice is to prioritize human connection. The human being aspect is critical to success in learning and development. If you work in this field, you have to love people because it's all about people and values. Right now, it's crucial to develop critical thinking, especially with the rise of AI. As technology becomes more integrated into learning and business, we need to analyze what AI does for us, and that analytical approach is essential for any successful L&D specialists. At the same time, it's important to embrace and love technology. We need to implement it in real life, not just in the workplace. For example, at Lanes AI, we are developing AI role-playing solution and AI integrated learning and development products, but it doesn't stop there. Every day, I personally use AI in my routine. I wake up and consult my custom GPT chat. I've saved countless prompts that help me communicate with my team, prepare for podcasts, write presentations, and create videos. AI helps me save time, but it's still important to maintain critical thinking and my own unique perspective. I always advocate for my own voice, my cultural code, and my energy when giving ideas or answering questions. So, yes, embracing technology in learning and development is essential, but it's also important to remain unique and to cultivate your personal expertise. Additionally, I believe it's vital for L&D experts to have passions outside of work, whether it's sports, art, family, or travel. Having interest beyond your job or is crucial is in today's L&D environment. It enriches your perspective and brings creativity into the projects you implement for business and team development. And here's another important tip: build your network and personal brand. Start small. I know many of us struggle with imposter syndrome, especially in L&D. It's common for us to feel like we are not quite knowledgeable or experienced enough. This is especially true for high achievers, but little by little, we have to overcome that fear and be willing to speak up, share our ideas, and be visible. In fact, learning and development professionals need to practice being more visible. It's a key part of our role. These are my thoughts and recommendations for anyone starting out in learning and development or for those looking to grow. What about you? Do you see the same shifts in technology and values in your own work? How do you stay connected to your passionate outside of the office? Feel free to reflect on that as we close. And of course, I want to emphasize that while I deeply believe in the power of technology, I also know that as the heart of technological development is the human soul. This is something I've been passionate about for many years. Whether I'm leading L&D efforts, running a business, or heading a large or small company, the soul and heart of any organization are its people. Learning and development at its core is about people with heart, with soul, and with a desire to change the world. It's about adding color, fostering growth, and driving a genuine desire to make the world a kinder, more open place. If you are interested in listening to episodes with L&D experts and want to grow in the areas of leadership and team management while getting inspired by fascinating guests, make sure to subscribe to the Love People Technology podcast. New episodes are released every Tuesday, so don't miss out. To wrap up, I leave you with a thought from Simon Sinek that I find especially relevant. Leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. At the end of the day, no matter how advanced our technology becomes, it's the human connection, the care we show for others, and the values we hold what will drive us forward. Thank you again for joining us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make a positive impact on the world around you. Bye.